All right, everybody. So when relevant and pertinent preparedness related information comes out, I want to make sure you're aware of it because this recent escalation between Ukraine and Russia is indeed relevant. It can easily push us into much more dangerous territory, and that's why I think you need to be aware of it, just in case you haven't heard about it yet or you missed it. Now, on the eve of peace talks in Istanbul, which are supposed to literally happen tomorrow on Monday, depending on when you're watching this video, we had a massive drone strike inside of Russia perpetrated by Ukraine. Now, this operation was titled Operation Spiderweb, and it took 1.5 years of planning and coordination. So this was a very well thought out attack. Now, 117 attack drones launched from trucks inside of Russia. These were well disguised cargo trucks that were strategically placed around different regions near airfields. Now, this was one of the first attacks of this kind in Siberia, which is over 1,700 miles away from Ukraine. So that's how deep these attacks actually reached, which tells you how escalatory the situation is. And supposedly these drones hit more than 40 aircraft and damaged 34% of Russia's strategic bombers. So that's huge. Now, this includes the Russian A-50, the Tu-95, and the Tu-22M3 aircraft at 4 different airfields. And just the A-50 itself is supposedly worth between $300 and $350 million. And Ukrainian media is claiming that up to $7 billion of damages have been done to Russian aircraft and airfields due to this attack. Now, Russia is claiming that this was a terrorist attack more so than a military operation. And here's something that I definitely think you need to pay attention to. Not only could this escalate things into a very dangerous territory, because this leaves very little room for Russia in the sense of what they can do to retaliate. This is a very devastating attack. This is an attack directly on their nuclear forces. This is also an attack that's inside of their borders very deep and makes them look bad. So they have to retaliate in some form or fashion. And you shouldn't be surprised if they decide to use something less conventional in order to retaliate. But the other thing that you need to pay attention to right now, that most people aren't going to be considering right this second because of the extreme escalatory nature of this situation, is that this can easily happen anywhere else. Russia is a nation with relatively advanced technology that's currently in a state of open war with Ukraine and elements of NATO, and somehow Ukraine was still able to just park cargo trucks throughout the country that were loaded with drones and drone operators and had intelligence agents on the ground, and then were able to attack some of their most critical resources when it comes to their military capabilities. And so you really need to be considering the fact that this can easily happen anywhere else in the exact same form and function. Cargo trucks parked around, loaded with militarized drones, with operators right there on the ground, ready to use them for what they're made for. So, please be aware of the potential threat of this happening in the future, anywhere else in the world, and be aware of the potential threat of Russia deciding to escalate things past what we've currently seen happen, especially in the sense of conventional warfare. So, I just wanted to make sure you were aware of this. If you're concerned about preparedness, you want to be better prepared, you want to know about the basics of preparation, and you just want to be kept up to date on current news stories that are actually relevant and pertinent to your preparedness, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, and share this video to anybody else that you might think would benefit from this information. And besides that, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.